If you want the rainbow, you gotta put up with the rain. But it is during these challenging, rainy times of our life that we generally struggle to stay motivated. And so, hey, lovely people, if motivation is what you're looking for, you have come to the right place. Greetings, everyone, and welcome to ANONTalks. I'm your host, Shammi Proothi, and it is with great excitement and pleasure that I welcome Ms. Jo Wiehler. Jo is a visionary, a business owner, founder of Labella House of Brands, and she wears many other feathers in her cap. So, welcome to the show, Jo. And Jo is going to crack the code to staying motivated during these challenging times. So please welcome. Please join me in welcoming Jo.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jo Wiehler. And first of all, I just want to say happy Mother's Day to all of the women out there, young girls, future mothers, already mothers, single mothers, every single one of you. Without mothers, we are nothing. So I just really want to say thank you for all the giving and the serving that you do. And to ANON, what an incredible opportunity it is for you guys to be a part of this organization. I'm so excited. And so I just really want to say I had the opportunity, to meet Artie and Shammi, and I fell in love with them and their vision and their positivity and what they want for you as their students and the goal that they want. So for me to be a part of this is really, really such an honor. And what I really like about your vision is that it's act now or never. When we act now, sometimes it's so scary. Sometimes we're terrified. We're like, oh my gosh, we're gonna fail. We're gonna do this. But that's when you take the leap. You close your eyes and you just jump with all your heart. And so a little bit about me is I'm Jo Wiehler. I am the third oldest out of 10 children. I was originally born in Durban, South Africa. And I have, we immigrated to Canada and the United States when I was a young girl. And I grew up very poor, very, very, very poor. And we moved around quite a lot. My dad being an immigrant, he would get a better job or he would get transferred with the company that he worked with. And so with that, we went to a total of 19 schools from early education to high school. So not only did I have a language barrier, I had a lot of learning, barriers. I had a lot of learning disabilities. I'm severely dyslexic. So if anybody's dyslexics out there, raise your hand. We're all part of the same cool crew. But I want to empower you guys to know that it doesn't matter what labels people put on you. You can do what it is in your heart to do, whether it's the greatest musician, whether it's to write a book, whether it's to paint a picture, whether it's to, be a chef or orchestra or yoga instructor, or to be a teacher or professor. Whatever you have in your heart to do, you can do that. And when you go after your goals and dreams, it always comes with challenges. It always comes with, obstacles and things trying to stop you and discourage you. And sometimes it's our closest friends and family that will be the ones that pull us down. So for me, what I did with my life is when I was 12 years old, I found a book called How to Win Friends and Influence People. And I would recommend every single person to read that book. That book changed my life. I was painfully shy. I spoke with a stutter. I was very, I was always told I wasn't smart because of my dyslexia, because I didn't know that I had dyslexia. I was always told that I would never do anything, that I was just a dreamer. And we moved from Utah to Minnesota. And in the back of the van, I read this book from start to finish. And it says, make eye contact with people. So the first thing I want to encourage you guys to do is learn to look at people in the eye and be excited that you've been given another day. The next thing that it taught me to do was to smile. Everybody, let's do it together. Your teeth are suffocating. Let's go. Let's have your smile. So the next thing it taught me to do was find genuine things to compliment people and to look for the bright side no matter what, because life will come at you really hard. Life will come at you in every direction. And it's usually when you're doing what is in your heart to do. So for me, the things that I've done to stay motivated is I actually worked really hard to overcome my shyness and to be the first to stick my hand out and go, hi, I'm Jo Wiehler, and to say it with a smile, and to be the most excited, enthusiastic person that anybody will ever meet. Because I believe that if you greet every day in every situation as if it's your long lost best friend that you will never see again, it changes the whole dynamics. So a lot of times when we're going after our goals, say you want to be a doctor and you have a lot of pressure, maybe you don't have the money, maybe you don't have the grades, maybe you don't have what it takes to get into that medical school, but in your heart, that's what you want to do. That's what you've been called to do. That's when you have to learn to block out the negative. You have to learn to block out the naysayers and the people that tell you it can't be done. And the best revenge is when you do it in spite of what they've told you can't. Those are their limits, not your limits. Your limits are what you put on yourself. And another book I would really highly encourage everybody to read is Jonathan Livingston's Siegel. It's an old book. It's a very thin book, but there's a line in that book that is so powerful. And the book is about a little seagull that just sees an eagle flying, and he wants to be there, and he wants to go higher, and he wants to, why does he have to be average? You know, why does he have to be like the rest of the seagulls? Why can't he be up there in the horizons and go higher? And so this little seagull just tries and tries and tries, and people laugh at him. His family make fun of him. Everybody makes fun of him. Everybody tells him, you're going to fail. You're going to lose. Oh, look, you fell again. Oh, look, you're not meant to go that high. But this little seagull, his mantra is, why fly only so high when there's so much air above our wings? We don't know what you all can become. That's the beauty of this. So when you are in the process of your dream or your goal, you are going to have people come at you with, you know, the best of intent. It's usually your family and friends that they mean good, you know, but they know you. They know how many times you've messed up. They know that maybe you didn't pass that test. They know your family circumstances. They know that maybe you didn't have the best grades in school, or, you know, or maybe you came from abuse. They know your circumstances, so they already see those limitations on you. But the hardest thing to do is to keep those blinders on and go focused, and to stay focused. And for me, what motivated me was, you know, sometimes life throws it at you really hard, and you have to stay focused on your goals and your dreams. And for me, I knew what I didn't want. I knew that I didn't want my children to be raised in poverty. I didn't want my children to go through the same struggles that we did as a family. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's very humbling. With 10 children in our family, my dad was the only support, and he did the best that he could. My parents did the best they could to raise us. And it was hard. Boys, we girls wanted clothes and makeup and shoes, and, you know, so my dad said it was always shoes or pay the light bill or milk in the fridge, or, you know, do I pay this bill or what do I do? But the thing that kept me going is I kept surrounding myself by the dream. When people would say, oh, Jo, you're dyslexic, you can never do that, I would say in my mind, one day I'm going to write a book. One day I'm going to publish my work. One day I'm going to have my words come out that will help somebody else. And the same thing for you. If you've got any learning disabilities, if you've got anything, those are just anchors. Those are just other people's limitations. They're not yours. They're not for you to, you know, absorb that like a sponge, because sometimes we absorb the labels that people put on us, and we become those labels. If you hang out with the wrong crowd enough, you become the wrong crowd. If you hang out with, you know, somebody who is wanting to be a doctor or a lawyer, you want to be a doctor or a lawyer. If you hang out with somebody who plays golf and is really good at it, you tend to want to learn to play golf and become better at it. So your surroundings is very important. My family, you know, was a very grounding fact that you can do and be what you want to be. But then they would also go, oh, but we come from a poor family. So spread your wings, but don't spread them too far. And I had to learn to go, I love you. I know that you mean well, but I'm going to spread my wings, and I'm going to go as high and as far as I can. And how do you know you can't do it? Impossible actually says, I'm possible. If you look at it differently, I'm possible, you're possible. This organization is making it possible for you guys to have that stepping stone to your greatness. Your education is a combination of school, combination of family. It's a combination of your life experience, and it's a combination of what you have in your heart to do. And sometimes the dream that you have in your heart doesn't make any sense to anybody else. So when I was starting out with this journey for La Bella Sabionita, I moved myself from Pennsylvania, America. I had a very nice life. I was selling industrial steel buildings and lighting. So I like to say that I light up your life. I light up your life. And I had this opportunity to come to Italy, and it scared me. It scared me beyond anything I've ever done in my life. It was the leap of faith that I was so scared to take. And the closer it came to doing this, the more I felt like I had anxiety, and I felt like, what am I doing? And I was double checking myself. And you're going to do that a lot. You're going to do that with, your dreams. You're going to go, am I really that talented? Am I really that smart? Am I really that great designer or seamstress or architect or singer? Can I really, all these greats out there? But you know what? There's enough room in the world for you. There's enough room in the world for you. There's enough room for you to go, okay, this is what I want. And I may be an artist, but I may be a different artist, and my skills are different than yours. And if you're always comparing yourself to other people, you're always going to be second best. But if you compare yourself to what God created, you're the top, you're the best. There's nobody that can even come close to you. There's nobody that can even have your skills to come close. And you know what? Your mess is your message. Your mess is the most powerful thing you've ever had in your life, because that is what's going to propel you to go further and to see. And they say the mark of a true leader is not what you do, but what you bring behind you. And I know with ANON, the foundation that you guys have, you have such strong leadership in this, and they want you to stand on their shoulders and go as far and as wide as you can. And for me, in education, I was a C, D, and F student. I struggled so bad. And I would have my parents go, why can't you be like your sister? Why can't you get good grades? And I'm like, I don't know. I've tried so hard. But the thing was, that didn't make me a failure. It means that I learned differently. And when I realized that I was dyslexic, it almost became a superpower to me to say, okay, I have abilities that you don't have. What do you have? What are your special gifts that you have that I don't have, that Shammi doesn't have? What are those special gifts and talents? Maybe you're good at communicating. Maybe you're good at writing. Maybe you're good, it doesn't matter what you do. So when your parents come to you and say, why can't you be like little Billy? Why can't your grades be like this? Maybe your grades aren't supposed to be. Maybe your grades are the education that you need to have through life and through school. But there's always room for improvement. And that's why I want to really stress education is extremely important. It's extremely important for you, whether you get a college degree, whether you choose to start your own business, whether you choose to go to work for somebody else. You're not done learning. The rest of our lives, we will spend learning. If you say you're done, you've closed the door on your opportunities. You've closed the door on your chances and what you can become. And I just really want to stress to you guys that the motivating factor is, first of all, you have to keep your eyes on your goals. And even when people, talk badly about you, maybe the finances isn't there. Maybe you are having a hard time, doing, getting into the school. Maybe you don't feel like you belong, but you know what? You do belong. You do belong. And what I teach to the people that I coach is, when there's a mountain, move it. Whether you go over it, under it, around it, move out of my way. Mountain, move out of my way. And if you guys can write down a few things, if you're taking notes, you need to learn to motivate yourself. You need to learn that when everybody else goes around you, you're going to have maybe a few people stand in your circle. But most people will leave when the going gets bad. But that's when you push forward. And that's when you get knocked down 7 times, you get back up 8 times. If you fall, it's okay. I'm going to tell you a little story. If you can let me know how much time we have, I don't want to go over time. I really want to respect your time. But for me, I had to learn to be Jo Wiehler's best cheerleader. I had to learn to say, Jo Wiehler, I love you so much. We might have failed. We might have done things wrong. We might have fallen. And you know, it's better to dare greatly and fall than to do nothing and trip. Because if you're doing something, at least let them laugh. But what I found to motivate myself was I had to look at myself in the mirror and say, God created me for greatness. God created me to serve and to love and to give. What are my talents? What are my abilities? I may not have got the A's and B's and C's, but I got the A's and B's and C's in life, where I was able to go out and pick myself back up, as well as be able to lift other people and to help them and encourage them. Because just because you fail that test doesn't mean your life is over. It doesn't mean, so write this down. Does it matter to me in 5 minutes, in 5 months, in 5 years? If that English test did not matter in 5 minutes, 5 years, or, you know, I got that wrong. So it's okay, make mistakes, it's okay. But if it's not going to matter, don't make it a big deal. That's when you say, okay, that was part of my steps. That was part of my steps to greatness. I have to fall a couple of times to get back up, because sometimes when we fall, we see a greater horizon. And the other thing I want you to write down is, why fly only so high when there's so much air above your wings? How do you know what you can't do until you try? How do you know? Maybe you're the one that can do that. Maybe you're the one that has that God-given talent inside you, that's something inside you that says, I'm going to be more than what they tell me I'm going to be. I'm going to be this person. And write out your goals and dreams. Be as descriptive as you can. The person you want to marry, the person you want to become, the person you want to give and to serve in your community, how you want to raise your children, how you want to raise, you know, your parents and help, not that we raise our parents, but there comes a shift. Sometimes we're like, Mom, go to your room. Don't be afraid to laugh at yourself and have fun. And talking in the mirror, I think, is really important, because sometimes when everybody else leaves your side, you need to look yourself in the eye and say, we are still committed. We are still going to do this. And learn to talk to yourself in a we, your spirit and your body. Your body might be like, look, we're tired. And your spirit's like, let's keep going. Go. You can do this. So what I want to leave you guys with is, you can. You can. God has given you everything you can. And when you need more, he provides the next instruction. He provides the next leader. He provides the next teacher. When the student is ready, the teacher appears. If you're not ready, it won't happen. Everything is in God's precise timing. You are exactly where you need to be. You're going through the exact circumstance that you need to be. It may be hard, but that circumstance is refining you like a diamond. You're becoming more and more polished. Every time you go through a little bit of pressure, I want you to think, I'm going to be the most beautiful diamond. I'm going to do this. Whatever it is in your heart to do, I challenge you to do it. I challenge you to prove them wrong. I challenge you to love yourself enough, even if it's 51%, and believe in yourself just that 1% more. I challenge you guys to see the greatness in you. I challenge you to look beyond your circumstances, because just because you come from there, I don't care if you come from Yale or jail, you can do and achieve whatever you want to. If you want to write a book, start writing. If you want to draw pictures, start drawing. If you want to do, music, start. Get yourself surrounded. And the more you immerse yourself in your passion and your dream, the more it will take you to the next level. So I want to share a story, 2 quick stories if I can. Do I still have enough time? Okay. So you're so cute. So
I will love to hear. In fact, Jo, I mean, I wanted to know what has kept you motivated, and because you've pushed past a lot of challenges, and many times there are setbacks that we later realize were an advantage. So wonderful. Please go ahead, share your stories.
Well, what keeps me motivated is I have 2 children, and my marriage to their dad ended in a very abusive way. And I was beaten up pretty much within an inch of my life in front of my kids. And for me, I remember as a mother looking at my children going, this is not the life that I want for them. I want them to have the best life. I want them to have happiness in their life. I don't want them to be afraid of their life. And I remember that moment was such a turning point in my life, because that was when I felt like I took my power back. And I said, just because this is what's happened doesn't mean this is the life they need to have. So for me, what motivates me is my children. It motivates me to help other people to climb higher and to be more. My goal is I want to help as many people as we can to aspire to be the greatest version of themselves that they can. I want, somebody to look at me when I'm a really old lady and say, you talked one time and you said something and it just went to my heart. And I have 2 teachers that did that for me. My 4th grade teacher, when we had just moved again, and they wanted to hold me back in school, so many barriers. My 4th grade teacher saw me sitting outside the door as the teacher was yelling at my parents saying I was really stupid. My 4th grade teacher, Mr. Anderson, knelt beside me and said, "You're going to do great things. I believe in you." He's breathed life into me. And he said, "Don't listen to them. That doesn't mean you're not smart. That means you're smart in a different way. Don't listen to them. You are smart." And my 2nd teacher, he actually is the one that found out I was dyslexic. And it was 3 months before I was due to graduate high school. And I struggled and struggled and struggled. And when he realized, he said, "I want you to draw the pictures. I want you to draw. I want you to draw it." And then because he realized I was a visual art, I was a visual learner, and to recognize your different strengths. Some of us are audio learners, some of us are visual, some of us are, analytical, some of us, are literal learners. And it's okay if you learn differently. It's okay if you're dyslexic or autistic or, HDD or ADHD. It's okay. It's okay if you have physical or mental or emotional limitations. It's okay. That doesn't make you who you are. It's a part of you. It's your message. And for me, what keeps me motivated is I keep the dream in front of me. And I'll share an experience before I share the 2 stories that I want to share with you. When I was about 13 or 14 years old, we had a knock on the door, and it was a very angry knock on the door. And it was people coming to take our furniture back because my dad, as hard as he worked, was not able to make up the payments. And so we ended up losing our beds, our tables, our couch, and they were going to take the TV. And I don't know if you have that show in India, but it's called Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. Did you ever see that? Robin Leach, Lifestyles of the...
Yeah. I've heard a lot about it, but I'm not a TV person.
Well, I was watching this show. The gentleman actually let me finish watching the show, and they were showing a castle in France, and they're showing that people lived in this castle. And as a little girl, I didn't know that wasn't a real thing. I was like, what? And, and so he let me finish watching the show. And he said, "Honey, it will never happen." He goes, "Look, we're taking your furniture." He goes, "Your family is poor." And I remember feeling like my heart sank because I thought, well, why would you let me see this? Why would you let me see greatness if it's not for me? And for the longest time, I had to work really hard on myself to go, you're just as good as the next person, Jo Wiehler. You're just as good as the person with money or without money. Nobody's better. Nobody, and the same thing for you, nobody is better. Nobody's better for you. So my 2 stories I want to leave you guys with is this. And these are my favorite stories. There was a man that had a donkey, and they were walking, a farmer, and they were walking, and the donkey fell into a pit, and it was a really deep pit. And the farmer couldn't get him out. And the farmer tried, and the donkey's like, going crazy. "Please get me out of here. It's dark, it's cold, and it's really deep. I know you love me." And the farmer could not reach him. He couldn't get him out. So every time he would try, it broke the farmer's heart. And he's like, "I'm just going to have to bury him." So he would shovel some dirt into the pit. It would hit the donkey, and the donkey would shake it off and step up. And he would keep shoveling and keep shoveling. And the donkey would shake it off and step up. And he would keep shoveling and keep shoveling. And the donkey would shake it off and step up. And the farmer was so sad. And he's like, "I'm going to lose my donkey, my best friend." And all of a sudden he put the last shovel of dirt in, and the donkey shook it off and stepped out of the pit. So every time you are in opposition, every time things aren't going your way, shake it off and step up. And ask yourself, what is the next best thing that I can do? What is the next best thing? Sometimes you just need to sit in silence. Sometimes you read a book. Sometimes it's a song that will just motivate you. And we all have a song. We all have a movie. We all have something that just says, go, 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 you can do this. And the next one that I want to share with you is one that I share a lot, and it's my favorite. There was the fastest runner in school, and his dad never ever went to his track meets. They never went to, he was always busy and always working, and he was number one in state, and he was the fastest, runner. And finally his dad was going to be there to watch him run. And he was so excited, and he was like, my dad's in the audience. He's in the bleachers. He's cheering for me. My dad, I got to make my dad so proud. And the gun went off, and he started running, and he was ahead of everybody. And he's going and he's running, and he trips and he falls. And the whole crowd goes, oh, and they gasp. And his dad gets up and says, get up and win the race. And he's embarrassed, but he's still ahead of everybody. And he gets up and he's running and he's running and he's running, and he trips again and he falls. And everybody now starts laughing in the crowd. Ha, the fastest runner just fell. Ha, look at you, you're so fast. All these jeers, all these people say mean things, right? His dad stands up, get up and win the race, get up. And he's like disappointed, he's embarrassed. His knees are bloody. He gets up, one runner runs past him, two runners run past him, three runners run past him. He's really sad, he's really struggling. And he keeps going and he keeps going, and he falls again. Mm-hmm. And he falls. And this time people are laughing, and they're just like, fastest runner, I bet. And they're just making fun of him. And once again, he's down on the ground, and he's like, I can't get up. My dad's there, and I just let him down. And he's like, his dad stands up and goes, get up and win the race. And he gets up, and one runner goes through the finish line. Another runner goes through the finish line, and he's so sad, and he's so, having such a hard time, and he's having such a hard time, and all of these thoughts are going through his mind. You can't do this. You're not good enough. Who do you think you are? You're just him. You're just from here. You're nothing special. And his dad stands up and says, get up and win the race. And he falls again, and he keeps running, and he's falling, and and at the end, he's on his knees in tears. And he's, meters away from the finish line. And there's a quiet gasp in the audience. And his dad stands up, and with every ounce of emotion he can, he goes, get up, son, and win that race. And he runs, and he gets across the finish line, and he gets cheers, and he gets crowds, and everybody cheered for him. He was the last runner. And his dad went to him, and he goes, Dad, I'm so sorry I let you down. I fell. I hurt myself. I hurt my legs. I'm bloody. I'm bruised. I had the chance to be the winner, and I lost it, and I didn't win. And his dad says, you won because you got up every time you fell. You guys are winners. You guys have the best leaders. You guys are going to do it. If you fall, get up and win the race. I love you with all my heart. I hope you guys go straight to the top, and I can't wait to hear your success stories. I can't wait to hear, Shammi, tell me how much you guys are just growing and going like crazy and doing incredible things that people tell you can't. And remember, when they tell you you can't, that's their limitations, not yours. And with all my heart, I wish you the best success and the most prosperity and love, and always stay grounded, always be humble, smile, laugh, and be human. Don't compete with anybody else, because they're not you. So take care. I hope you guys have the greatest day ever. Just know that we love you with all our heart. Ciao.
Jo, it has been so wonderful hearing you. I just can't, wait to hear more from you. Please give us some more time to hear from you.
Oh, of course. Of course. Whenever you want, we're ready to help you, and we're right excited now. To serve you.
Right now. I want you to tell some more things, some more stories. See, the stories have been so beautiful. Specifically, you fall down, but you get up. This is what resonates so well with me. And I really feel so happy to, be reminded of it. Now, yes. One thing I want to, ask you, whatever motivation we had in our own times would be like the dreams that kept us alive, our parents. So mostly it was more of it intrinsically. Yes. But times have changed. There has been technological advancements. There are now excessive options to choose from. So this Gen X, they are going through this transition. How do you think we can, foster this motivation in these young people?
I think for sure life is going faster than you and I can even imagine. They're the metaverse, like everything it's just going crazy. I think, it's really important to know who you are on the inside and know that people post their best on Instagram and Facebook and, Twitter and Snapchat. Nobody's going to post their worst. So if you compare yourself to that, you're always going to be second best. I think there's a lot of power and motivation in what's going on in the movement, what's going on. The fact that every single one of us has access by a touch of a button to any amount of information. And, that to me makes learning, you can learn on so many different levels. There's always a master class that you could take. There's always, it's now so easy to reach out to actors or to people and just leave them a message. And you'd be surprised how many people will actually get back to you. I would say be wary of, looking at the people who are posting the billionaire selfies that, it's all about the Rolex, it's all about the car, it's all about, the clothes. That's not who you are. At any given time, we can lose that. And in my life, I have lost that several times where I've had to start from ground zero back up again. When I was living in Canada, I was remarried at the time. My second husband ended up getting diagnosed with testicular cancer. I was going through a custody battle with my ex-husband in the United States. And by dishonest means, he ended up getting a custody of my son, not my daughter. And as a mother, that was the most hurtful thing in the world, to have your child taken away from you when you know that you're a good mom. And I threw myself into being a mother. I wanted to be the best mom. I wanted my kids to have a happy upbringing and to be surrounded and motivated and to feel loved every day. I wanted them to know that they were, the greatest. And to have that taken away was one of the lowest points of my life. And my current husband ended up leaving me because he left to save himself. So he, knock on wood, he's alive today. We're no longer married, but, and that's the other thing that I really want you guys to know is there's always a consequence for your actions. It's just the natural law. What you do, if you're mean to somebody, it's going to come back to you. If you're kind, it's going to come back. If you're going to help educate other people and serve and be of service, it's going to come back. If you love joyfully and freely, it will come back. So what you give, it comes back always. If you want more money, you give money, you serve. If you want, more recognition, you serve. If you, whatever it is in life. So when my ex-husband won custody of my son, and maybe some of you have felt this way, I felt like I didn't want to live anymore. I was so sad. I had fought so hard, and having my current husband leave as well, my finances went down the drain. Our lights got turned off, our gas got turned off, our phone got turned off. I would have to go to a neighbor's house. All of my money was going to plane tickets back and forth to America to fight this custody battle because I was living in Canada at the time. And in that darkest moment, I took a job cleaning houses, very humble, scrubbing toilets, scrubbing bathrooms, scrubbing kitchens. And it paid my bills. I was able to pay for babysitters for my daughter when I would fly back and forth to the court cases. And when I lost custody of my son, I flew back to Canada. My boss is the only one that knew besides my daughter. I cried and I worked and nobody knew it. And I was smiling and I was happy and I was hugging people and high-fiving people because I believe in being my best, even when I'm at my worst. And then I had a moment where I broke down and I couldn't stop crying. And I emotionally broke because I had fought so hard for my child. And I ended up quitting my job with my boss. And she said, "What are you going to do?" And I said, "I'm going to start my own cleaning company." And she goes, "Okay." And I had $14 in the bank, which I don't know what it is in Indian money, but it was very little. I had a quarter tank of gas in my car. I had cleaning products under my sink. I cut up my bath towels, and I went to the store with my $14 and I bartered for a vacuum. And I said, please let me buy this vacuum. And I had my dad make up some business cards for me. And I went to the bank and I said, I started my own cleaning company. I'm so excited. Who wants me to clean? And literally people gave me their number. And out of that low point of my life, I had other dreams and goals and aspirations for myself. At the time, I was actually approached by Chanel Cosmetics to be a runway makeup artist. And I had to turn it down because I would have lost my daughter too in the custody battle. So I took the cleaning job, which ended up paying my bills barely. And I ended up losing custody of my son and went back to Canada. After about 2 weeks, I started my own cleaning company, and I successfully ran that company for 15 years. And I think I had 14 teams of ladies working for me, and we served differently. We did different things. We did Mother's Day luncheons. I refused to let my employees be negative to the job that they did because it was an honest, hard day's work. So I would say it's not dirt, it's job security. It's all how you look at it. I was able to see a business in probably the lowest thing, at the time. I was able to see a business. And one time, so this hopefully will encourage all of you. My daughter got teased at school and somebody said, oh, your mom cleans toilets. Ew, stinky, stinky. And it was when I had hired my first couple of teams. And my daughter turned around and she said, no, my mom signs the check on the front, not the back. Big difference. And I was so like, oh, what? But that's the thing. Out of something that was so tragic in my life, I was able to turn it around. And it would hurt me sometimes to see moms sitting on the couch with their children reading. But at the same time, it was a lot of joy to be able to see them and to go, okay, because I'm serving you, you have this moment with your child. Otherwise, you'd be cleaning your house. And so it was a double-edged sword. But through love and kindness and excitement, we grew. And I was able to not only provide for me and my daughter, I was able to provide for 14 other people. So a total of 28 ladies. I was able to provide income for their families, for birthdays, for Christmas, for their bills. But it was because life drop kicked me and I wasn't expecting that. And, and there's been many other challenges, along the way. I have had challenge after challenge, but I get it back up. Sometimes it takes longer to get back up. Sometimes, the best thing you could do is I got out of bed today, and that's okay. And you need to celebrate that victory because life is going to go through all of us. Sometimes we're going to lose a parent or a loved one's going to die, or we're going to go through an illness and we're going to go, why me? Right? Why me? And after I had started my cleaning company, towards the end of owning my business, I ended up getting stage 4 breast cancer on both sides. And I was told that I wouldn't make it to my 40th birthday. And I'd like to tell you I'm 23.3. Just kidding. I turned 50 last December. So I'm very happy about that. But I was told that I was going to die and that I wasn't going to make it. And my company, I had built it up really, really well. We had the best employees, the best customers. And some of my newer employees started spreading to all my customers that I had stage 4 breast cancer and that I was going to die. And so they started going to other people because they said, okay, well, she's going to die and your company's going to go under. And so within a matter of a month, I lost my entire business. And I went from, getting ready to publicly franchise my business to having, barely a handful of customers. I had a double mastectomy and I had pretty much all of my employees go to work with somebody else because they thought I was going to die. And I had bandages on my body. And I was out of the hospital 2 days with a double mastectomy. My chest was all stapled and stitched up. And because I still had contracts to fulfill, I went out and started cleaning again. And I would get home and I would have blood running down my side. But I kept doing it and I was cheerful. And I would get home and I would pass out because the pain was just so unbearable. But I fulfilled the contracts because I believe in keeping your commitments. I believe in giving the best that you can and serving. And you know, my daughter says that I have an obsession with windows and glass, and it's because I don't want anything to be different than how I am. I want you to look in and go, okay, she's still as goofy as what she is. You know, I want everything to be transparent and the same, right? I am today who I am outside and inside my house. And the setbacks that I've had, that you've had, my struggles are different than yours. I can't go through what Shammi's gone through. I can't go through what Artie's gone through. I can't go through what any of you have gone through. But you know what? I can go through Jo Wiehler's stuff. And you can't go through mine because you're not supposed to. But because of that, I made it a point that with my company, that we would do Mother's Day luncheons, that we would do things for fundraisers. We would do things to not just, I didn't want to just live, I wanted to serve. So everything we did became a double mission. Like, how are we going to give back? And so if you can take your mess and say, okay, I come from an abusive home, I'm going to be a great parent. I'm going to be the one that breaks that chain in my family. I'm going to be that one that breaks that dysfunction. I'm going to be the one that does that. If you can take your mess and make your message out of your mess, how much greater can you be? How much greater can you motivate and inspire another person? Don't ever look at it and go, why me? Why me? Why me? Oh, why did you do this to me? Turn it around and say, thank you. Thank you for seeing that I'm strong enough to go through this. Is it going to hurt? Yes. Are you going to cry? Yes. Are you going to fall? Yes. Are you going to have disappointments? Yes. Are you going to make a plan and it goes completely opposite? Absolutely yes. Right? Absolutely. God has a great sense of humor. He's going to go, oh, you think it's going to go that way? Nope. Let's just check. But the more you learn.
I have another plan for you, baby.
Yeah. And you're like, okay, can you at least give me a hint? Like, tell me, what are we doing? Okay, it's like, okay, I've got 5 minutes. What are we doing? But if you look at that and go, okay, for whatever reason, God saw that I was strong enough to go through these things. It's never for you. It's never for me what we go through. It's for who we can serve with what we've gone through. Our mess becomes our message. Our humble becomes the ability to be humanity to other people and to give that humanity and grace to another person. It makes you so relatable to say, I went through that. And you can truly put your arms around another person and hug them and love them. You know, so never judge anybody. Never, if you see that person sitting alone in the cafeteria, you be the bigger person. You be the person that goes up and makes a friend. You be the person that's the shield and the buckler and not allow other people to put them down. You be that person that, you know, chooses to be the champion every day. When you look in that mirror, you say, yes, we can. We can do this. We can do this. We can empower. We can, you know, we can serve every day. Each one of us can serve by doing little things. You know, if you have money to give, give. If you don't, make a sandwich and give. You can see somebody. I'm sure you have homeless in your community as we do in ours. You can treat them like a human. Their story needs to be told too. They need somebody to listen. You can spend part of your time, and I believe in giving 10% of everything I have, my time, my talents, my energy, everything, my love, to everybody freely without ever expecting anything back. And if you can learn to be the greatest server of people, you will truly become the greatest person. And we were talking before this about Princess Diana and her amount of love and empathy and kindness is such a benchmark, I think, for all of us, that we can, that motivates me. That's one of the things that I want to be. I want to be like that. I want to be like Shammi. I want to be like Artie. I want to be, you know, like you. I want to be able to serve people and love people. I want to be able to look at my hardships and laugh and say, oh yeah, we went through that. Woo, woo, like, woo, look at us in our bad self, right? And I want
such a brave soul. I mean, I'm so proud of you. Listening to you gives me such goosebumps, and really so proud of you.
Thank you. But you know, if it weren't for all of that, you and I would never have connected.
Yes.
Because I would still be okay being a picket fence little wife, making cookies, coloring with my kids.
Well, we all have our stories. Maybe what story we have covered, we don't, I mean, nobody knows.
And that's the thing. Look at how beautiful Shammi's looking, but I'm sure you've had heartbreak. I'm sure you've had disappointment. I'm sure you've been like,
I
I
would say
can't get out of bed.
as a failure, everybody goes through setbacks in life. But as you said, the mantra is that you fall down, you get back up again, and keep your dreams right in front of you.
Yes. And if you guys write your dreams down, get as many pictures as you can on I look at my dreams all day long, and I'm always improving it, going, okay, how can I do it better? How can I do it better? And I write out, who do I want to be? What type of person do I want to be? Because believe me, you guys are going to achieve your goals. If you haven't got your priorities and if you haven't got your morals and standards right, you're going to be what everybody wants you to be. And that's not the goal here. We want you to be the best. So write down, what is the vision for you? My vision for my life is, I want to be this person. I want, how do you want to give? When you make those millions, how do you want to do it? You just want to spend it all on bling bling? Look at me and my bling bling. Or do you want to be the secret person that helps and guides and maybe helps that person go through medical school, but they don't know who paid for it, right? So I say, define yourself, define your goals, define, what you want. When laughter comes, it's okay. And just step up, brush it off, step up, brush it off, step up, brush it off, step up, because you're going to get laughed at. The more you step out of the box to do something differently, the more people are going to target you and make fun of you. And that's okay. That's part of it. If you can't handle the pressure of becoming a diamond, you will never become a diamond. But you guys can. You guys have the best leadership. I cannot say that enough. And my organization is really excited to come and serve you, because you guys have such an amazing organization by such talented, incredible leadership. Shammi, you are just a heart of gold and such a pure light. And I hope your students just truly value you and the whole team of what you guys have and what you've created, because you guys have created a global, foundation for dreamers and for visionaries and for people to step out of the norm, to go beyond and to become what God has created them to be. So there's no applause for me. The applause just goes to you. Act now or never.
You are being too humble, too modest. No, Jo, I think you have come through a long journey. I mean, you've covered a long way. And I can see the pride, shining through your eyes, which is wonderful. So it has really been a wonderful, talk show today with you. We just loved hearing you, and we can't get enough of you. And I'm so sure today someone or the other would find that 1, 2 little things to pick up from here and there from your talk, apply in their own lives, and just fly.
And you know what? And that's the goal, is we just want you to soar. We want you to just spread your wings and become what they say they can, and prove them wrong. Who's going to be right? You or them?
Yes. And one thing is very important. What I learned from your talk is that generally what this society is so obsessed with academic grades and all these degrees and things, but it's EQ that's more important. It's the belief in self. It's, getting back up. It's the resilience. We need to focus on that also, because the IQ will be important only if there is EQ too.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. And here's a truthful statement. The A, B, and C students go to work and work for the C, D, and F students, because the C, D, and F students couldn't get into school and they had no choice but to start. So if you're not pulling the grades, don't be hard on yourself. Do the best that you know. Every day that you take a test or something, give it your best. Don't just go in there and C. Give it your best. Give it your best, but don't be so hard on you, because when we stand before the Lord one day, he's not going to go, Shammi, can I see your report card, please? Excuse me, young lady, I'm going to see, you're going to need to get on the scale.
He's going to ask for the contribution, not the achievements that I had.
That's right. High five. He's going to say, how many people did you love? How many people did you serve? How many people's lives are better because you lived?
Because
that's going to be our judgment. Yeah. And there's that saying that says, you may be just one person in the world, but to one person, you may be the world.
The whole world.
And so for you, you are that one person. And all of you out there are that one person. You guys you are the best of the best. And this school is something so fantastic, because I think parents put too much pressure sometimes on their kids to be the straight A students. And sometimes parents are living vicariously through their children. They didn't get to do this, so they want their children to be in every sport possible. They didn't get to be in ballet, so, you know, Betty is going to go to ballet from like 10 hours a day, whether she wants to or not. Sometimes we parents are guilty of putting our dreams on our children because it's our unfinished business. We didn't get to be the best in school, so you better get those straight A's,
Yes.
right? But if you give yourself grace, and if you are out there as a parent, if you give your children grace and look at each and every individual child, they're not going to be the same as the oldest or the youngest. They're going to be their own beautiful individual self. And if you raise them to see the beauty in them and to know that who they are is enough. They don't need to be heavier. They don't need to be skinnier. They don't need to be richer. They don't need to be poorer. Who God created them,
Yes.
you've got everything you need. You don't need, we don't need any superficial stuff,
Yes.
you know, and that's the thing. As a parent, you know, my parents were super frustrated with me because they're like, why can't you get grades like your sisters? My two older sisters were straight A students. And
Oh,
me, I was not.
I think now you are AAA.
I don't know. I'm still their little sister to them. They're like, there's Joe.
Life teaches us lessons that schools can't.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I believe that I have got the better education through life because God has given me hurts and challenges and obstacles to overcome. He's given me, you know, things that have been my disability and my learning disability that have pushed me to do more and to say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And the two most powerful words you guys can ever say is I am.
Yes.
What comes behind I am
is very important.
Is your truth. And you need to be very, very word careful about what you guys say and what you speak. Because if you're going around wanting to do something great, but you're saying, I am stupid, I am this, I am that, you're killing the purpose. But if you can say, I am powerful, I am kind, I am loving, I am generous, I am smart, I am worthy, I am enough. You are all enough. Every single one of us is enough. Every single one of us, God created you to be the most beautiful you that you could be. Stop competing. You know, there's nobody else that you can do better than you yesterday.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Jo. There have been such powerful lessons. And the lessons that today I take away from you are believe you can, and you are halfway there.
Yes.
Fall down, get up again. Don't be shy of making mistakes.
Yeah.
And
laugh.
And laugh. And when don't ask why me, instead say try me.
Yes. Yes. Try me. That's like and you know what? The other thing that you can do is if you're going through challenges right now, you know, we love you and we're hugging you. And just know that God sees greatness in you. And He's like, I just need to polish the diamond. And if you're going through struggles right now, don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to say, hey, this is getting too hard. Hey, this is, you know, I need somebody to just hug me. And sometimes somebody has gone through something 5 or 10 years before that they go, oh my gosh, I know what you're going through. Maybe not exactly, but maybe they can wrap their arms around you and say, it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. And you guys are going to do such great. I can't wait to see how you guys are going to change the world because you guys are the future. And I'm so proud of you, Shammi, for everything that you do. What an incredible leader you are. And just, you guys are so lucky. Don't lose this.
And with people like you, surely we will be, touching some lives, some more lives, as many as we can. So it has been a pleasure talking to you, having you with us, Jo. We learned some very important lessons, and I think our young people and all the people who are listening, tuned in today, would be learning such, very important life lessons, which we don't learn at schools.
And the most important life lesson is to empower your children to know that they're enough.
Yes.
They are enough. They're not stupid. They're not, they're not ugly. They're not fat. They are enough.
Yes.
God gave us many beautiful flowers. We don't have to be like the other ones.
Yes, each flower is different. It has its own fragrance, its own color. So thank you
Yes.
very much, Jo.
Thank you.
It has been a pleasure being with you, and namaste.
Namaste. Namaste, everybody. Ciao.
Ciao.